Okay, what's up guys? So in this video, we are going to talk about 3 huge levers for optimal energy that you probably aren't using, or how you can start your day far more energized than with coffee without having to live with crippling anxiety through the use of sunlight, magnetism, and oxygen. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jasper Muink and I run Herculean Biology, where we help entrepreneurs build a jacked body with optimal levels of energy, clarity, and focus. To apply for a complimentary performance audit, you can check out the website. You can also access the health thesis there or through the link that I will provide in the description. And you can also join the community through this link that will also be down in the description. Lastly, this is not medical advice, and be sure to watch this at 2x speed to save yourself some time. So here's the deal. Many people struggle with low energy levels, and we have somewhat normalized this, but this is not normal. Health problems in general are not normal. The body doesn't just magically get sick. We just stop looking at our own biology from a holistic base, which is causing all of these issues. Now, I do want to point out that this video is a bit more advanced because energy optimization largely happens through 3 layers, and we're skipping to the highest level simply because I can. Level 1 will be general health and toxin exposure. Level 2 will be nutrition, movement, and sleep. And level 3 is what we're going to get into, namely sunlight, magnetism, and oxygen, and these are hugely underused. By implementing strategies for these 3 levers in your life, you will be able to experience detoxification, reduced inflammation, improved sleep quality, improved focus, improved awareness, improved mood, improved immune function, a heightened ability to manage stress, and a whole bunch of other benefits that you can experience in just 15 minutes a day. Do remember that the basis for energy will always go back to nutrition, sleep, movement, and toxin exposure, and below are some guides for these other areas. Specifically, I have a full nutrition guide and I have an introduction to sleep, which you can also find in the description down below. For movement and toxin exposure, I will go more in depth ASAP. So without further ado, let's get started. First up is sunlight. So sunlight plays a pivotal role in our overall well-being, and it not only shapes our daily rhythms and the lack of it creating disturbances instead, but it also offers a ton of health benefits. Conventional medicine will tell you to hide indoors, and well, unless you already have serious problems with your skin, I wouldn't consider this good advice. There are new studies coming out that link avoidance of sun exposure to all-cause mortality, as described in this figure down below. Although research on this is still quite mixed, looking at it from an evolutionary lens, we have the mechanisms to protect ourselves from the sun's radiation, and we have evolved as beings under the sun's rays. It's counterintuitive to think that we're fundamentally vulnerable to it. Overexposure, like any other stressor, can be harmful, especially without acclimatization or overall poor health, but everyone can build up tolerance. So how do we do that? Well, tolerance is built up by gradually increasing exposure, slowly aiding your body's melanin production. Melanin, especially melanin, which darker skinned people will have more of, provides protection against UV rays, dissipating 99.9% of UV radiation as heat. Conversely, avoiding sunlight might be contributing to rising skin cancer due to melanin dysfunction, which is what happens if you hide indoors all day. You can think of this tolerance buildup as a hormetic stressor, which is an initially harmful stimuli that when introduced gradually becomes beneficial. So here's some best practices for sunlight exposure. Firstly, buildup of tolerance should preferably be done during the AM hours. This is because both UVA and UVB radiation are lower during the morning hours. Morning sunlight has been shown to be helpful in regulating melanin production, so this is another good reason. And early morning sunlight helps you regulate your circadian rhythm, which is going to help you with sleep. These same principles apply during sundown, by the way. Important notes are to not stare into painfully bright lights, as it can harm the retina. Sunlight through windshields, windows, and sunglasses is far less effective. If daily exposure isn't possible, try to make it as regular of a habit as possible. And you can still get decent benefits on overcast days, so don't just think, oh, there is nothing I can do, never mind. Like, still try to go outside and get some sunlight. So next up is magnetism, and for this video we are going to go specifically into grounding or earthing. So this is when you place your body in direct contact with the Earth's naturally conductive surfaces. Research has linked grounding to several health benefits such as enhanced blood circulation, better sleep quality, improved mood, boosted metabolic health, and decreased chronic inflammation, which all lead to generally optimized performance. How this works is that the Earth, with its net negative charge, can transfer free electrons to the human body when direct contact is established. These free electrons, once absorbed, behave similarly to antioxidants, which we normally get from veggies and fruits, neutralizing reactive oxygen species or free radicals, and thereby reducing oxidative stress. The following surfaces are naturally conductive. So there's grass, sand, soil, mud, natural stone, and bodies of water such as lakes, oceans, and rivers. And here are some other notes. So these surfaces become even more conductive when wet, since water is a conductor. Make sure that the surfaces you're standing on aren't sprayed with chemicals, and in studies they often use up to 40 minutes of daily grounding, but from my experience, you can get great benefits from doing it just 15 minutes a day, but the more is obviously better. The last one is oxygen, and while pretty much everyone understands the baseline necessity of oxygen for survival, recent years have seen a new wave of exploration of oxygen utilization for performance. Breathwork has roots stretching back millennia with traditions like pranayama, and more recently Wim Hof, the Iceman, has popularized its powers to influence both our physiology and our psychology. Breathing techniques can modulate our oxygen intake and carbon dioxide expulsion. Techniques such as the Wim Hof method and variations of pranayama promote going into states of controlled hyperventilation and hypoventilation. Going into a state of controlled hyperventilation leads to elevated blood oxygen levels. This short-term hyperoxia has a range of benefits like enhanced cognitive function, a boosted immune response, and enhanced cell repair processes. On the flip side, going into a state of controlled hypoventilation, or holding the breath, can increase carbon dioxide in the blood, which increases vasodilation or the widening of blood vessels and improves blood flow, which can be beneficial for the brain and muscles. Some best practices: so if you're new to breathwork, it's possible to get dizzy or feel some discomfort, so start slow and build it up. Practice in a calm and quiet environment, and you can combine it with meditation or visualization to heighten its benefits. And here's some instructions. So you want to do 3 rounds of 30 breaths, followed by a long hold until you feel the urge to breathe. Nose or mouth breathing doesn't really matter, just get in as much air as possible. Breathe from the stomach first, pulling your belly button away from your body and opening the chest after to allow for maximum oxygen. With this method, you force air into the lobes of your lungs and not the apex of your lungs, and you also stimulate bowel movement in the intestinal tract. It's important to understand that the research on all of this is still super early, so when you're seeing a specific benefit like a heightened immune response, don't just think, I'm not going to get sick. Think holistically. If that's a benefit, then there are probably 20 other mechanisms that benefit from the practice as well. And with the way you'll be feeling after incorporating these for a short while, I'm sure you'd agree. So lastly, absolute pro tip, triple them up and get them all done at once to save yourself some time. Hope this helps. If you got value out of this, or if you have any questions, shoot me a DM or leave a comment. You can book a call with this link and you can get our health thesis here. And outside of that, I wish you a good day. Bye bye.